Okay, hi, this is Susan. I'm here on a Saturday morning speaking with Jacob Leo, who's graduating this May from UMW. Hi, Jacob, how's it going?
Good,
Good,
doing good. Just hanging out in the house.
right. So tell me, your house, where?
I'm in Dillon currently.
Okay,
About to
good.
go back to work, so just in town.
Okay, well, I want to talk a little bit about that, but why don't you tell all the students who don't know you what you're graduating with, what degree?
Yeah, so I'll be graduating here in a couple days online with an English degree. I originally came to Western for secondary ed. Ended up dropping the education part, so I'm getting out here with just an English degree, 4 years.
Okay. Okay. And how have you been doing since COVID-19? Maybe this is where you could talk a little bit about your job, because I know there's been other students that have had problems, with work. So,
Yeah, so I worked at the local pita store in town, Pita Pin. So when I got back, we had spring break, got back to town, and we were open for a couple days, and then we've been closed for going on a month or so now. But that's about to reopen. And then I've also have an internship that got moved all online and virtually with the marketing and communications department on campus.
wow. Okay. So as far as the job goes, had you worked enough hours that you qualified for unemployment or anything? Were you able to get some help with that?
I got some assistance, not a lot though. Part of it has to do with the tutoring as well and my work study money. So I still had an income and still had stuff like that. So I got there, so we're all good. But yeah, it was weird just not working.
Okay, so listen, today is May 2nd. And so what are the prospects of you getting back to work for Pita Pit?
So we're opening back up on Tuesday. I have to go in on Monday and prep, and we have to clean everything again, make sure everything's clean and sanitary. And then we open back up on Tuesday with some
Okay,
restrictions.
right? So you have to wear masks and gloves and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Found out we have to wear masks, and we already wear gloves. So
And then what about, like, are you guys gonna be monitoring the number of people that come in?
I believe so. I think it is going to be limited to a couple, maybe six people or so in there, and then with the 6 feet distance. I haven't heard exactly what other precautions we're going to take, but definitely going to have not going to be regular.
Right, right. I think that even on campus, I think we're going to have to do that going forward in the Learning Center, limit the number of people. And of course, if we have tutoring going on inside the Learning Center, well, that means there's going to be less students. So I'm really glad that we were able to get tutoring going remotely for people for 7 and 8. Did you have a class block 7?
No, I haven't had a class block 7 or 8, so I've solely just been doing the internship.
Okay, so tell us about the internship, how you, attained that, but also what did you do and how did that work virtually?
Yeah, so when it all started, basically after spring breaks, after the extended spring break that we had,
Mm-hmm.
my director Matt Rafferty got in contact with me and told me he's gonna be all online. Basically, no one's gonna be on campus. He was actually self-isolating himself because he was in a meeting. Um, so yeah, I got moved all online, which has been tough, but it's a lot different experience than what I would have expected, even just before it all happened, leaving for spring break. Um, but yeah, it's just been a lot of writing of different articles about scholarships and alumni and different awards that have been given out. So everything's just been through email.
Okay,
That's the only way I've really been communicating with people. I did have a couple phone calls with Matt just throughout, but he's busy with a lot of other stuff, and I'm just an intern. So he's been
right,
doing really good with getting back to me on that. But everything that I've been working on has been through email and then just sending back and forth drafts and stuff like that.
okay, okay. So would you say, how many hours have you been working a day approximately?
So I've been probably working around an hour a day. It just kind of depends on what's going on. I was scheduled originally to work 2 hours a day there,
Mm-hmm.
but just because of the distance and not being able to just sit in with another employee who works there and work with them, or not having just instant contact with Matt to hear
Right.
back from him, it's kind of just pushed things. It kind of delayed it.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, I was supposed to work 10 hours a week, and I've usually been around 7 hours, 5 to 7 hours. So it has been cut back,
Right.
which isn't good, but it is, at least I'm still being able to do it and didn't get canceled. So
Right. I'm wondering, did you do any live interviews like we're doing right now?
I haven't. I have had chances like with certain people to call them or just email them,
Uh-huh.
but I've ended up just emailing them so that way I can double check kind of the questions I'm sending and everything with Matt and Roxanne Inglet, who's been helping me with the articles. So it's kind of just been that since can't just go and ask them, and everyone's kind of busy doing a lot of random things. So email has kind of worked the best.
Right. But it really does sound like they pulled together over there in communications and marketing to help make this at least, somewhat beneficial to you, giving you access, and like you said, with them being so busy in monitoring, news, but then also uh, releasing news
Mhm.
and, writing all of the press releases and that kind of thing. I'm really glad that you did have some access, that it just didn't, happen. It might have been a different look than what you thought, but it's still, you got some experience on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's great. So I do want to talk to you a little bit about what your future plans are. I mean, obviously that's the reason we're doing this, so that students coming up behind you are going to, think about just different options they might have, and look at what their upperclassmen have done in
Yeah.
for them. And so I think your situation is a little bit different. So I'm just going to ask you the question. Instead of deciding how long ago, or asking the question, how long ago did you decide what you wanted to do? I want to know, how long ago did you decide to change what you were going to do?
Yeah. So like I said, I came to Western to be a secondary ed English teacher, so high school English teacher. And I was in that doing kind of basically double majoring English and education. And then my junior year, kind of early second semester, I was having a lot of doubts about, just wasn't super excited about it anymore. And I kind of started looking at other people and what they were doing. Talked with my family, decided to drop it. So I ended up, originally I was going to actually just drop out after that semester and start go find another trade or go find another job or something, but I decided to stay and get my degree since I was so close. I only had a year left.
Hmm.
So I came back. So this year I've just been taking pretty much solely English classes and just some other gen ed credits. Um, but yeah, it's kind of opened the possibility of what I do want to do, especially with English being such a broad kind of major and
Hmm.
topic.
Hmm.
I can do a lot of different things with that degree and with different things I've learned. And so that's been a big change from going from knowing I'm going to be student teaching right after I graduate to now it's kind of up in the air of what I actually want to do.
So, so do you think that making that decision kind of took the pressure off of,
Yeah,
yeah,
I it took pressure off and then also added some just because of the uncertainness of going from I'm going to be student teaching to now I don't even know what kind of career I'm looking for with this degree.
right?
So that adds some pressure, but it's worked out pretty well. When I found this internship and got hooked up with Matt with the marketing communications department, I
Hmm.
felt really good with that one. So um, that's been one of the biggest downsides for me personally of COVID is not getting a full experience of what that job looks like. Since it was kind of like the one um, job I was looking of diving right into right after college if it went well with the internship.
Right?
Um, and I mean, it has, but it's just I didn't get a full experience. I don't know if it's something I would actually want to do right away if I want to take some time off after college, which is
Right.
what I'm planning on doing now.
Okay. So maybe that's a decision you made within the last couple of months then, just to take some time off and not sweat it?
Yeah, basically, yeah, this whole second semester, my plan was to see how the internship goes and then kind of decide from
Right.
there either the possibilities were to possibly Western offers me a job,
Yep.
or I like it and I apply for other colleges to go work in the same position or in the same
Right.
department, or travel and move out of state and just try something new somewhere else. Um, And so now that everything's happened, it's kind of just right now I want to go take some time off and just kind of wait till everything cools down and stuff, and then try to get back into a job like that or see what else I can find that I enjoy.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I know Montana isn't the only state that has some hiring freezes on. So
Yeah,
even though there have been openings in different departments on campus, it looks like that probably will be at a standstill for a
yeah,
period of time anyway. And I'm sure it's probably like that in other states as well.
exactly.
They have to try and recover economically through this whole thing. But also, I just want to remind you too that you have been around. You know a few other English education majors. Speak with them because those people, one girl in particular who was an English major, education major, who dropped the education part is now in grad school. And I'm not saying
Hmm.
that's for you, but she's definitely going to have some familiarity with types of jobs, because
Yeah,
she's been in that grad school program for a year now, and she'll have some ideas about what she's going to be doing afterwards. And her program was Master of Public Arts or Public Affairs. That's what it is, Public Affairs. So yeah, there, it's just an exploration kind of thing. And like you said, trying things out, see how it fits for you.
yeah,
And the other thing that I do tell a lot of students who come in is like, it's not a problem not to know what you're going to do the day you graduate.
exactly.
You don't have to put yourself through that. You went to college for an education, and if you determine during that period of time what you want to do after, well, that's great, but not everybody does. You still have your education. You can still go forward. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. And I just also know that students that really do achieve a high GPA were students who were very much focused on the learning part of their college educate or career, and now they really have time to kind of look around, and before they didn't. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's all good, and it doesn't have to happen tomorrow, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, let me ask you one last question, and that is, what kind of message would you have to say to students coming up behind you about the different options that they might have? I know you're still in the process, but
yeah. I think just try to look around and try to see exactly what options you do have. Try not to be confined to the same ideas of what you wanted when you were, 4 years ago. I know I changed a lot personally and just like grew within myself these past 4 years.
Mhm.
And so the views I had of what I wanted to do changed with that. And so I think when I realized that my third year here, that really helped me a lot with school and just moving on with, I can choose more about what I actually want to do and what makes me happy and stuff like that instead of this is what I picked to go here for and this is what I think I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm just going to stick with it. So just taking a chance and just like seeing what other options are there, not being afraid to take them if you want to.
Right. Okay, Jacob. Well, I'm going to wrap up the interview, but I do want to tell you first that I really appreciate the contributions you've made to the Learning Center. You've worked in there for over 2 years, well, 3 years, I think. I think you might have been one of the first tutors that I hired when I came into Western. And
Yeah.
yeah, is it 3 years?
Well, yeah, I got hired by the I can't remember who it was. The guy right before you got there. I got
Okay.
hired in the spring, and then you're there when I started in the fall.
Right, exactly, exactly. So anyway, I've known you for a long time, and students have told me too that they've appreciated your help. So when you're doing paper reviews, that you've given them good feedback and helped them learn how to write better papers. And sometimes it's not um, busy as much as you want it to be in there, but I knew I could depend on you, and so I really thank you for that, and also for the help that you gave students that came in that needed some writing assistance. So thanks a lot for doing
Yeah,
that for
of
us. I
course.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to sit tight, I do want to ask you one quick question after, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording.
Sure.